Girl, while you were parcelando o observante na farmacia, I discovered something that would make even Elon Musk stop scrolling Instagram. You know that feeling when you see your bank account and immediately want to take a sabbatical from reality? Listen, yesterday I met with my accountant. Yes, the same guy who handles Mr. Millionaire Empire. And he told me something that would make you drop your drugstore mascara faster than a boy Feo dropping promises. 61% of women report feeling financial stress compared to men. The other 39%? Probably heiress, married to millionaires, or already doing what I am about to teach you here. Only 38% of women feel confident managing their money, but here is where it gets interesting, and this is why you need to pay attention to every word I am saying, like your financial glow-up depends on it, because it does. The difference between feeling broke and feeling like a queen is not just the zeros in your account. It is what you do before those zeros multiply, like my crush on Elon Musk. And trust me, I have seen women transform from shopping at discount stores to having personal shoppers at Bergdorf Goodman, and it all started with understanding one simple truth that separates ex-truxas from heiress. Carita, you still are economizing on toilet paper while there are people putting money in stone NFTs. Let us wake up to wealth, shall we? You see, confidence and money are like that toxic couple that everyone talks about. They either destroy each other or create an empire together. And today, I am going to teach you exactly how to make them work together like Bonnie and Clyde, but legal and profitable. Because rico trabaja cum glamour, pobre trabaja cum suor, and we have sweated enough for one lifetime. Here is what no one tells you about building wealth. And this comes from someone who went from counting pennies to counting properties like they are Chanel bags. Research shows that as much as 1/3 of the gender difference in financial literacy can be attributed to lack of confidence, rather than actual knowledge. Translation? You probably already know more than you think you do, but your brain keeps telling you that you are financially illiterate like a boy Feo, telling you that you are asking for too much. Let me tell you something that my therapist charged me $500 per session to figure out. And yes, even rich people need therapy. We just do it in better chairs with champagne instead of tissues. Confidence is not some magical potion that you drink and suddenly feel capable of buying Manhattan. Confidence is literally the ability to turn your thoughts into action. Nothing more, nothing less. But here is where most women mess up completely. And I mean completely, like choosing to date someone who suggests splitting the restaurant bill. You are sitting there waiting to feel confident before you do anything with your money. Honey, that is like waiting to feel skinny before you start working out, or waiting to feel rich before you start acting like you deserve wealth. The confidence comes after you start taking action, not before. If the Blair Waldorf managed to manipulate the Upper East Side, you can manipulate your checking account. But first, you need to stop acting like money is some mysterious force that only works for other people. I remember when I first started tracking my expenses. Yes, even I had to start somewhere. And no, Mr. Millionaire did not just hand me a black card on our first date, though that would have been more efficient than this whole financial education thing. Every Saturday morning, I grab my gourmet coffee, because life is too short for bad caffeine and poor financial decisions, and I sit down with my spreadsheet. Not because I am a nerd, but because controlling your money is chic. Making spreadsheets is my new financial spa. Nothing relaxes me more than seeing a positive balance, and who does not control their money gets controlled by it. You cannot control the boy Feo in your life if you cannot even control your credit card. Control what gives profit first, Querida. Want to know what separates rich women from broke women? Rich women know exactly where every dollar goes. Broke women know exactly what their ex-boyfriend is doing on Instagram and how much their cousin spent on her wedding dress. The choice is yours, but only one of these behaviors will get you a yacht. Some people say that money does not bring happiness. Usually these people are walking on crowded buses on Monday morning. Coincidence? I think not. Self-made women millionaires typically reach their first million in their 40s by doing something most people find boring: living below their means while investing in high-yield assets. Revolutionary, right? They buy smaller houses than they can afford, drive cars that do not require monthly payments to a luxury dealership, and invest the difference in stocks that actually grow their wealth instead of depreciating the moment they sign the papers. These women understand that investing every month is like getting preventive Botox. You only see the difference over time, but when you see it, you never go back. But let us talk about what really builds confidence: results. Not affirmations in the mirror, though those are cute for Instagram content. Not vision boards, though Pinterest is entertaining when you are procrastinating real financial work. Results. Every time you check your account and see growth instead of decline, Your brain files that under evidence that I am financially competent. Every time you stick to a budget, your brain adds another point to your I can control money scorecard. Here is what I learned from studying women who actually built wealth from nothing. They all have what I call the boring rich person lifestyle. They max out their 401k contributions. They understand compound interest like they understand that Hermes bags appreciate in value. And they see their employer retirement plan as their wealth-building vehicle, not their weekly shopping sprees at Target. You want to know what confidence looks like in real numbers? Women are set to control more than $30 trillion in assets by 2030. 30 trillion. That is more money than some countries' entire economies. That is more money than all the luxury brands combined. But here is the catch. Most women still feel unprepared to manage that kind of wealth. The problem is not that you cannot handle money. The problem is that you have been conditioned to believe that financial management is more complicated than understanding why boys feos think they can cheat and still deserve loyalty. Honey, I have seen the way rich men invest, and trust me, they are not doing anything revolutionary. They just started earlier and stayed consistent longer than their attention span for one woman. Let me break down the real secret to financial confidence. It is not about having perfect knowledge before you start. Even when women have the same financial knowledge as men, they still report lower confidence levels. So clearly, this is not about education. This is about permission. Permission to make mistakes without calling yourself financially stupid. Permission to start small without feeling embarrassed. Permission to learn as you go without having a complete PhD in economics. Permission to not be perfect from day one, because perfection is for people who never actually start anything. Rich people fail forward, broke people fail backward. The difference? Rich people see failure as tuition for their wealth education. Broke people see failure as confirmation that they were never meant to be rich, like their great-grandmother told them while peeling potatoes. Here is your homework. And yes, there is homework. Because becoming rich requires effort. Shocking, I know. This is not a manifestation exercise where you just think about money and it appears in your account like magic. Open your banking app right now. I know it gives you anxiety. I know you want to close your eyes and hope the numbers change by divine intervention. But here is what we are going to do instead. And this is going to be easier than explaining to a boy feo why splitting the check is not romantic. Look at the last digit in the cents column of your account. Take that number and transfer it to savings. If your balance shows $23.47, transfer 7 cents to savings. If it shows $1,234.91, transfer 1 cent. The amount does not matter. The action does. This tiny action starts rewiring your brain to see yourself as someone who moves money intentionally, not someone who just hopes money appears magically like a fairy godmother with a trust fund. Every dollar saved or invested is a seed that with time, intention, and direction can grow into a money tree that actually bears fruit. But here is what most financial advisors will not tell you, because they want to keep you dependent on their services, like you are dependent on your weekly nail appointments. Building wealth is not about complex strategies that require a Wall Street degree. It is about simple habits repeated consistently over time, like applying sunscreen or avoiding boys with economy cars. The fancy investment strategies come later, after you have mastered the basics. First, you learn to walk in Louboutins, then you learn to run in them. You know what kills financial confidence faster than a shopping addiction at a sample sale? Comparison. Stop looking at other people's highlight reels and comparing them to your behind-the-scenes reality. That influencer posting about her investment portfolio? She probably started with a trust fund bigger than your rent. That friend who seems to have it all figured out? She might be leveraged to her eyeballs and one emergency away from financial disaster. Your wealth journey is not about catching up to anyone else. It is about becoming the most financially confident version of yourself. And confidence, real confidence, comes from taking action even when you do not feel ready, even when you feel like you are faking it until you make it. 71% of women now own investments in the stock market, which represents an 18% increase from just last year. You know what that tells me? Women are done waiting for permission to build wealth. They are done sitting on the sidelines while their male counterparts accumulate assets like they accumulate audacity. Companies led by women show 20% higher stock prices and 6% higher profitability compared to male-led companies. So clearly, women know how to generate returns. We just need to apply that same logic to our personal finances instead of applying it only to making other people rich. But if you are still scared to start investing, let me tell you about my favorite investment strategy. I call it the Duchess Dollars Do Not Do Dumb Decisions method. And it is foolproof like my prenup with Mr. Millionaire. First, you build your emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of expenses because life happens, and when it does, you want to handle it like the financially prepared queen you are, not like someone who needs to ask relatives for loans or start a GoFundMe for basic survival. Second, you max out any employer match in your retirement account. This is free money, and free money is the best kind of money, better than finding designer shoes on sale. Third, you start investing in index funds, because picking individual stocks is for people who have time to study company financials all day, and we have lives to live and champagne to drink. The only casino I am interested in is the one in Monte Carlo, because if you are going to lose money gambling, at least do it somewhere with decent champagne and a dress code that requires diamonds. But honestly, I do not gamble with my money. I invest it strategically, because gambling is hoping for luck, and investing is creating your own luck through smart decisions. I only gamble if the prize is a millionaire husband or a private island. Otherwise, my love, I prefer to bet on myself. Here is what builds real financial confidence. Seeing your money work for you instead of the other way around. When your investments start generating returns, when your savings account starts growing, when you can look at a price tag without calculating how many meals you will have to skip, that is when you realize that financial confidence is not about pretending to be rich. It is about actually becoming rich. You want to know what real confidence looks like? Real confidence is checking your investment account and seeing growth instead of hoping your card does not get declined at the grocery store. Real confidence is negotiating your salary because you know your worth and you have the bank account to prove it. Real confidence is walking into any room knowing that your financial security is not dependent on anyone else's approval or generosity or mood swings. Stop apologizing for wanting money like you are apologizing for breathing oxygen. Stop feeling guilty about financial ambition like wanting wealth is a character flaw. Stop thinking that caring about money makes you shallow. Shallow is dating someone for their personality when their personality is broke. Money is a tool, and tools are meant to be used effectively. 93% of wealthy women donate to charity compared to 87% of wealthy men. When women build wealth, they change the world. When women stay broke, they change nothing except their stress levels. Your assignment for this week, and I am serious about this like I am serious about my skincare routine, is to schedule a money date with yourself. Block 1 hour on your calendar, make it non-negotiable like your monthly Botox appointment, and use that time to look at your complete financial picture. Not to judge it like you judge your ex-boyfriend, new girlfriend Instagram photos. Not to panic about it like you panic when you see a boy Feo sliding into your DMs, but to understand it. Because you cannot improve what you do not measure, and you cannot measure what you are too scared to look at. During this money date, calculate your net worth. Assets minus liabilities equals net worth. It might be negative right now, and that is okay. Rich people start with negative net worth all the time. The difference is they do something about it instead of pretending it does not exist, like they pretend their natural hair color is actually blonde. Set up automatic transfers to savings, even if it is just $25 per month. Automation removes the emotion from saving. When the transfer happens automatically, you cannot talk yourself out of it during a weak moment in Target, or when you see a sale at Sephora. Research investment options for beginners. You do not need to understand options trading or cryptocurrency to start building wealth. You need to understand index funds, diversification, and compound interest. The fancy stuff comes later, after you have built a solid foundation like you build a solid skincare routine before you try experimental treatments. Most importantly, start talking about money, not complaining about not having enough money like you complain about not having enough closet space, but actually discussing financial goals, investment strategies, and wealth-building techniques like you discuss whether that dress makes you look expensive or desperate. Women commonly use the word fear when describing their relationship with money and describe feelings of overwhelm and intimidation. We change this by normalizing money conversations like we normalize talking about therapy and self-care and toxic masculinity. Here is your reality check, and I say this with love. Nobody is coming to save your financial future. Not your parents, not your partner who cannot even save his own credit score, not the government, not some mysterious inheritance from a relative you never knew existed. Your financial security is your responsibility, and that is actually the most empowering news you will hear all day. More empowering than finding out that your ex is still single and miserable. Because when you take responsibility, you take control. And when you take control, you become unstoppable like me when I see a limited edition Hermes bag. The woman who controls her finances controls her destiny. The woman who depends on others for financial security is always one decision away from being financially devastated. Wealth is method, querida. Riqueza é método. It is not about being lucky. It is not about being born into the right family. It is not about marrying well, though that certainly does not hurt, and I highly recommend it. It is about making deliberate, consistent decisions that compound over time, like interest and good skincare. You already have everything you need to start building wealth. You have a brain that works better than most men who think they are financial geniuses. You have access to information that previous generations of women could only dream of. And you have the ability to make different choices starting today, right now, this very second. What you need to develop is the confidence to trust yourself with money, and that confidence comes from taking action, not from waiting until you feel ready, or until someone gives you permission, or until you finish reading every financial book ever written. So let me ask you this. Are you going to spend another year complaining about your financial situation like you complain about the weather? Or are you going to spend the next 10 minutes taking the first step toward the financial confidence you deserve? Are you going to keep parcelando basic necessities while other people are building empires? Are you going to keep checking your bank account with the same energy you check a pregnancy test when you do not want to be pregnant? Or are you going to start acting like the wealthy woman you were always meant to be? If you are ready to stop being an ex-truxa and start building the wealth you deserve, smash that subscribe button like you would smash a boy feo ego when he suggests going Dutch. Leave me a like because rich women support other women becoming rich. And we do not keep secrets about money like we keep secrets about our real hair color. I have left links to all my favorite wealthy woman resources in the first pinned comment below. Everything you need to start your financial glow up is there, organized like my walk-in closet. Drop this phrase in the comments if you enjoyed this video. Confidence builds wealth. Let me know you are ready to join the ranks of financially confident women who know that building wealth is not about luck. It is about method, consistency, and the courage to start before you feel ready. Remember, you were not born to live paycheck to paycheck like you were not born to accept minimum effort from minimum men. You were not born to compare prices of fabric softener. You were born to be rich, not to stay broke out of politeness. You were born to build an empire. Now go do it and make it glamorous.